I just love that you have like this little kind of spirit, fairy, angel guidance energy around you, because who doesn't want that? Like, it's really hard being a human being here. So if you can have little magical fairy angel spirit guides that hang out with you, I think you're winning at life. Hi, this is Kathy. Welcome to Duality Unfolding. This week, what I have for you is a message from your loved ones. I have got 4 different groups for you to choose from, um, along with crystals. So I'll show you each of the cards as well as like the crystal heart that's associated with it. So the first group we have: be open to change, be receptive to new experiences. Change leads to growth. And the crystal I have for you is this green aventurine. Group 2, the card is confession, releasing a secret, pursuing virtue through honesty. And the crystal is a tourmalated quartz heart. Group 3, the card is ask your angels, seek the divine. Your angels want to support you. And the crystal is a rose quartz. It's not super pink, but but it's a rose quartz. And then group number 4, the card is abundance, an inflow of money, love, or rewards. And the crystal is moonstone. So these messages, I haven't done the readings yet, but these messages could come from people that, you know, you're in relationship with right now, like family members, ancestors who passed, like loved ones that have passed, maybe even your pets. I pull the cards, but I don't look at them before I do the readings. So it is an adventure for all of us. So as always, take as much time as you need to choose your group. You're welcome to watch more than one reading, and I will see you in the readings. Hello, group number 1. So if you chose this be open to change card and the green aventurine heart, this is your reading. So I have a lot of cards for you. So we will get started with these 2 oracle cards, and then we'll move on to your tarot. So these cards are going to represent you and then the other person that's coming through. Like I said in the intro, this can be someone that you're in relationship with, someone you're in separation with, family, friends, someone that's passed, someone that's on a different plane. So we will see what comes through. This is kind of, I guess, a vibe check for you. So the card representing you is Lady Portia. And the message is divine order. Do what you feel is right. An important lesson is unfolding. So this really resonates with this be open to change card. And then the energy that's coming through is white eagle, ancestor spirit. Connect to your lineage. A family wound or pattern can be healed now. Okay. So this looks like a change of some kind of dynamic, right? That we've got a family wound or pattern can be healed at this time. Change leads to growth. And then do what is right. Do what feels right. And an important lesson is unfolding. This green aventurine, the green color is associated with the heart chakra. So I feel like this is something that's been... this is something that's kind of tender. And this could even be between yourself and like maybe like a father figure or like, you know, someone that you're related to that's a little bit more masculine. Doesn't necessarily have to be a man, because, you know, women can have masculine energy just like men can have feminine energy. But this feels like an older kind of patriarchal energy. You know, someone that's kind of a leader within the family. So let's see what has come up for your tarot cards. Okay. So we've got the Hierophant, 6 of Cups, AE weight. Interesting. And then the Lovers. Okay. So the Hierophant is about tradition. It's about the way that we've always done it, but it's also about like this inner wisdom that, like in the traditional tarot, the Hierophant is seen with 2 people kneeling before him. And so it's very much related to like religion and tradition and things like that. But also that the Hierophant is seen as a teacher in the modern interpretation of tarot. And I feel like the one that feels like it's right for you is that like we learn to be the source of our own wisdom, right? That we all have like this inner world, this inner self, I guess, for lack of a better word. But like we are with ourselves all the time, and we can hear the things that we're thinking, and we feel the experiences that we're having. Like, even when we're able to be empathetic and see things from someone else's perspective, like there is an impact on things like within our inner world. And I think we're socialized to look outside of ourselves, like to look to some kind of wise elder for the decisions that we need to make. But I feel like this Hierophant is really calling you to look at your inner wisdom, like to tap into your inner wisdom, like to think about like what feels right for me, what feels positive for me, what feels like this is what I need to get through this change, or I'm going through this change because it's what I need and I feel like it's what's aligned for me. This next card is the Six of Cups. So this card is very much about nostalgia. And to me, like what it feels like is this person, it really feels like a family member. This feels like a family relationship where they're having a hard time seeing you as a grown up. Like they're having a hard time getting out of like this kind of nostalgic space of you as the you that you used to be, whether that's accurate or not, right? Because like people have their perceptions of us, and it's kind of like the saying that like a different version of us exists in every person's mind. So there's like 1,000 different versions of us, right? That like the us that we know, this inner self, is different than the version of us that this person holds. And I feel like there's a little bit of conflict happening because there's a disconnect, right? That this person still sees you very much as like a small child, right? They see this little kid version of you, or maybe they're nostalgic for the way the relationship used to be. I think that change is hard for people. And even when we decide to make a change, even if we don't share it and people start to notice it, like there can be pushback on that because as human beings, we find comfort in what is familiar. And I have a feeling this person has kind of sought comfort in you being this kind of predictable version of who you've been. And they're having a hard time reconciling that, like, the core of who you are isn't changing. It just looks different on the outside. And I feel like this is really kind of an issue for them, but I do feel like it's impacting you in a not great way, right? That it feels, it might be a conflict. It might feel uncomfortable. And the kind of the combined energy between the two of you, like around this conflict, is that like there's kind of a detachment in a way, that I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do and you're gonna do what you're gonna do. And I'm not saying that that's good or bad. That might be the coping mechanism, right? It might be that like, okay, things are happening around me that I kind of can't really control, so I'm just gonna focus on what I can focus on. And it feels like you guys kind of you're having the same approach to this, that like you're focusing on what is important for you, and that whatever stuff is going on with them is their stuff, and they are struggling with whatever changes are happening, but they're also kind of like, well, like group number one is doing whatever they're doing, and I can't really control that. Even if it makes me uncomfortable, or even if I've said something. So I just kind of have to focus on what I can focus on. And I feel like it's a very like, it's almost like the coping mechanism is to detach from the conflict, right? And so this might have been like, there might have been an argument. There might have just been like a really awkward exchange. There might have been, the energy just feels kind of weird, right? Where it's like, it almost feels like the two of you might have been having a conversation. Like it would almost be like if this person getting the haircut, is like chatting away with their barber, and then the barber starts talking and this person doesn't want to hear it, so they just pick up a magazine and start reading it. It's almost like this, like, weird interaction of like, okay, that's not really how these interactions go, but also like I can tell that you don't want to talk about it and it doesn't bother me that much, but this is kind of weird and rude, so maybe the feeling is that like I don't share things with you anymore. Maybe the feeling is that like, okay, we just kind of take some time to not interact and connect. But I think ultimately what's going to happen is that like the two of you are going to come together to have some kind of conversation around this, or something's going to happen. Kind of this divine thing is going to happen that's going to bring you two together, right? So this could be something like, maybe you're deciding to make a change and you're sharing it with this other person and they don't receive it well, and you kind of make some space. And then this person reads this article and it's like, oh, group number one was actually like right. And they actually knew what they were talking about, because this ancestral, like this patriarchal energy feels like they're used to being in charge. They're used to being the smart one. They're used to being the one that makes all the decisions. And because they are struggling to see you as as this version of you that you are now, there's like this resistance. And that's why I say like it's about them. It's not about you. And so I feel like what's going to happen is they're going to be shown something, like I said, it could be an article, and they're going to come to you and be like, hey, you remember how we were talking about this thing? Like I saw this article about it and I thought it was really interesting, and I don't know if you had seen it. And so it's not, there's this kind of coming together and like ability to reflect things back in a positive way, but it's also not like an apology, right? That like this energy like just feels like I don't know how to apologize, but like I am going to try to like reconnect in a positive way to atone for what has happened. And it almost feels like this feels very, I don't want to say familiar, but it feels like this has happened quite a few times before. Like this almost might be like the ebb and flow of the relationship that you have with this person, that like this is just kind of how it is. And like I feel like it's getting to the point where it's like each time it happens, like it does affect you, but it's not like heartbreaking, right? Where it's like, oh, okay, this person is doing that thing again that they do, and it really is kind of just serving, like the reason that it's happening is for you to continue to learn that like what's right for you, what you need. And going through this kind of situation with this person again where it's not necessarily that they're pushing back on what you're doing, like what decisions you're making. It's almost like this unsolicited feedback on the choices that you're making, and it's like, oh, okay, thanks, I guess. And it feels like the old you would have tried to convince them like, no, I have a plan and I know what I'm doing, it's gonna be great, and like I've done the research. But I feel like you have done that before, but like now you're at the point where it's like, okay, like, well, this is what I've decided to do. And you kind of just leave it, right? So it's almost like this awkward silence of like, no, I've explained, or I've shared as much as I want to share about what I'm doing. And that's just how it is, and I think that you know that like this kind of awkward, non-conflictual conflict thing is very much like about them. And so I have pulled, I pulled quite a few other oracle cards to just kind of see like what messages they have for you. And also maybe some guidance around like what's going on, right? Because it's, sometimes people can't say things to us that their hearts want to say because, of egos or conditioning or whatever. Like being human is hard, and so I pulled all these cards to just kind of see like what kind of loving messages your person has for you, because like, if this is a parent, if this is like an elder, like this person cares about you and they love you, and none of us are perfect, right? So we all are, we all have our struggles and we all have our things. So this first card that came up, this came up in the reading that I did for the week, which is success. So the changes that you're making, the decisions that you've made to change things, like it's going to lead to success. So, and I think that I feel like the more you can stand strong in doing what you know is right for you, like the more success is going to come to you. So I feel like that's really just like lovely and positive. So there's a lot of power of love messages that came out when I was shuffling them. I was trying to just get one. And so the first one like popped out, and then, the other ones were like really awkward when I was holding the deck, and I was like, okay, well, I'll just take the second one. And it turned out to be like 3. So I feel like there's a lot of love that this person has for you. There's probably a lot of love that you have for them. And so we'll just see what comes up. So this first one is forgiveness. You are now able to activate the power of love in order to release past hurts. So this card also talked about like a family wound or pattern that can be healed now. It almost feels like this person reacts to you based on how they were raised, that like parents, aunts, uncles, people in leadership are supposed to treat the people that like maybe they care for or they look after, or that they've been a parent to, and so sometimes we have to forgive the people in our lives for things that they don't really understand they're doing. Like we have to forgive people for the things that they do, even when they don't understand how hurtful those things can be, right? Where all of us kind of have this programming in our own ways, where we kind of run on that programming when we don't really think about what we're doing or why we're doing it. And so I think that, you being able to forgive them for who they are, that's really heavy, right? I think because sometimes like we have people in our lives that we love and care for, and they're like not the most pleasant people, right? Like they've been through a lot of things, or they're having a hard time, and I feel like I keep saying like nobody's perfect. They're not perfect. And this might be something that they say to you, as like almost like a defense mechanism. Like, I'm not a perfect person, and it almost feels like in a way it's like an excuse for their bad behavior. But I feel like really what it is like when they're saying that they're not a perfect person, what they're really saying is like, I don't know how to accept myself. I don't know how to forgive myself. I don't know how to be with myself. And in the times that I'm unpleasant, I dislike myself more than you dislike me in this moment, that's really heavy. And I don't want to say I'm sorry, but I didn't realize that this was going to get really heavy around this. So I hope that, we'll see what other cards come up, because I definitely asked for really supportive messages around this. But I think that this person has a lot of their own like family wounding. And I also feel like we can't give what we don't have, right? Like if someone's like, hey, I need $500, like if I don't have it, I can't give it to you. And I think that can work the same with like almost like emotional currency, right? Like if we don't know how to love ourselves, it's really hard to like love other people. If we don't know how to accept ourselves, it's really hard for us to accept other people. So that's what I mean by like when we can't give what we don't have. So let's see what the next card is. Okay, this next card is trust. You have a strong connection to your soul's loving voice and have faith in your intuition. So you might already kind of sense this about this person. Like some of the things I'm telling you, like they might not be a surprise to you. This might be things that you're like, yep, that's them. Like that's how they are. And I feel like this detachment almost is like you've stopped trying to fix them. You've stopped trying to it almost feels like you have been trying to love them into healing themselves, and you can't do the work for anyone else, right? Like, I'm not saying don't love this person, but you know, love them from the space that you want to love them from. Like, you don't have to love them with the intention of fixing them. And I feel like I don't I don't know who that's for, but I feel like that just kind of came out. Like, my throat feels kind of weird saying it. So I don't know if it's something that maybe like you've needed to hear, or maybe you've known and you just needed to acknowledge. But yeah, just love them the way that you want to love them, but it's not your responsibility to fix them or heal them. Like, that's for them to heal, right? Just like you have your own family wounding that you need to heal, they have their own family wounding that they need to heal, and that we all, at the end of the day, we all have to do our own work. Even if it's hard to see other people really struggling, especially if we know how to help them and they just won't let us. So yeah, I needed to share that. The next card is peacefulness. You recognize that balance, kindness, and love bring calmness to your soul. And detachment, just this one. You are releasing old patterns and ideas that no longer serve your highest ideals of love. Yeah, that we can still love people from a detached place, right? And I feel like that's kind of this really abstract thing, but I think that when we offer love, when we offer love for the purpose of just offering love to people, there is a sort of detachment from it, from an outcome, right? That we can love people with the intention of like healing them or fixing them, or any number of things. Like, I mean, we can even love people from the intention of like trying to look good to other people or trying to like get something out of it, because we are human and we have egos. But I feel like when we love people from a place of our heart just being loving, that is loving with detachment, right? Because we're detached from an outcome. We're not attached to our love creating the catalyst for something to happen. Like, we just have opened our hearts and we're just loving to love. So the next couple cards that I have for you, I've got a couple little Care Bear cards. These are just little playing cards, but they have really cute imagery on them. So I wanted to pull some. Okay, and so I feel like we have two hearts cards. Okay, so we've got this Ace of Hearts, and then we've got this Two of Hearts, and I feel like actually I'm gonna switch these around, because I feel like this is very much like a peaceful detachment energy, right? Like, just kind of essentially like vibrating higher, like rising above any kind of like drama that's happening, like letting love lift you up and just kind of looking down, like, hey, I don't really, I'm lovingly letting go of this. Like, I don't need to be part of any kind of chaos or drama, and I can allow myself to kind of zoom out on what's happening. I can allow love to like lift me up to get a higher perspective, to see what needs to happen, like how the two of us can come together, or to just kind of wait or seek whatever guidance. And then this little Two of Hearts, it looks like they're making cookies. Like, that looks like a little cookie cutter. And they've got a little rolling pin and bag of flour. And so I feel like this is very much about you kind of nurturing yourself, right? Just taking some time to take care of you. Maybe make yourself some cookies. Maybe you really enjoy baking. But, kind of this solitary energy of just kind of focusing on, this is what I'm doing right now. This is what I want to do. This is what, is going on for me. And then I've got this card, the Gashapon. I don't know what that, I've never heard of that word. but the message is reward. 9 in numerology is the end of a cycle. So I feel like, like this says, like kind of connecting to your lineage, like healing things, closing out cycles. And it's like a little, the little thing you put a coin in and you crank the wheel and you get something out of it. So it's almost like you putting in the work to focus on yourself, to take care of yourself and like continue to do this, go through this change. Like you're going to get rewarded for that. You're going to get rewarded for your forgiveness, for ending out these cycles. And really like that change that you're making is the catalyst for closing out this cycle. That if you hadn't shared or you hadn't started to make a change, a lot of this stuff wouldn't have been triggered and you wouldn't have seen like, oh, okay, this needs healing. And, sometimes healing is just like forgiving and detaching, and so that, the reward I think is going to be this success, this increased trust in yourself. It feels really good. It feels really positive. Okay, and then this last message is rest. Listen to your body, mentally and physically unwind, which I feel like is very much, kind of connected to this making cookies card. Group number 1, this has been your reading around like messages from someone that loves you, messages from a person that loves you. So I hope that this was helpful. I think that these kind of dynamics can be tricky. And so I hope that it was helpful to kind of understand where they're coming from, understand like what is the reason behind like what's happening, what you're being encouraged by spirit to do. And that, ultimately like everything's going to be fine. We've got, this lover's card of like kind of reconnecting and reflecting things back to each other, this forgiveness, peacefulness, detachment, like, even though this was something that was hard or tricky to deal with, overall, it looks really positive, that it's going to have a really positive outcome and that you're just being encouraged to take care of yourself, to have compassion for this other person as they kind of work through their own stuff around your stuff that, like that you're doing in your life. So yeah, group number 1, that was your reading. If you enjoyed the reading, I would love it if you would like and subscribe. If there's any part of this reading that like super resonated for you, or if there was like a card that you really liked, I would love to hear it. And I just want to wish you like lots of healing and lots of rest. And and I hope that you can take care of your tender heart over the next few, days, weeks, months as you move through this. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. Hello, group number 2. So if you chose this confession card and the tourmalated quartz heart, this is your reading. So I have chosen a lot of different cards for you. So we've got the tarot cards that we'll move into, but I've also pulled a couple of oracle cards to just kind of see the energy of you and the energy of your person, and also to kind of give you like a little bit of a vibe check to see if this is the right reading for you. So your energy is this Lady Venus card. And the message is downloads and understanding. Truth is being revealed. Deep insights are coming from heaven and the astral realm. So this very much aligns. Like I think that you, I was going to say, I think that you know what the secret is. So either you have a knowing of somebody else's secret, like you have a gut feeling of somebody's secret, or like you have a secret to share yourself. So we'll see when these tarot cards come up, but there's very much like a knowing with this Lady Venus card already. And then the other person's energy is this Sanat Kumara, light activation. And the message is shine your light. Your internal guidance is coming through loud and clear. So I feel like this is not necessarily like the loved one that's coming through to speak to you is not the person you're in a relationship with. This is like one of your like guides. And it almost feels like it makes me think of like a saying that I heard, and I'm probably gonna butcher it, but it's it goes something like God, source, spirit, higher power removed you from the rooms where they were speaking your name in a negative way. And so it's almost like this kind of rejection being divine protection that, that like your guides are, I can't tell if they're showing you things about people so that you can see the truth. Like, I don't know if they're showing you like this is exactly what happened. Like this is the really terrible thing that you need to see about this really terrible person, or if your guides are kind of opening your eyes to see this person in a different way, and that like there are things that you're observing where it's like, I like they're not doing anything like new or different, but I'm seeing it differently. And I feel like when we look at these two cards, like they very much have, like they have very similar eyes. Like the color is very close. They look very similar as well. And it almost feels like there's like a soulmate connection with your guide. And so I almost feel like maybe in another lifetime, you and this guide were like best friends, siblings. Like there's a very close, intimate, non-romantic connection with this energy. And it feels like you decided to come to Earth and they were like, I'll stay up here and give you guidance. I got you. Like I'll be able to like zoom out and see all the things and be able to send you the information. So it's almost like, it makes me think of almost like the way that like an air traffic control tower works, where it's like the plane's taking off, but the air traffic controller can see all the other planes in the sky. And so they can tell them like, hey, you're going to have to wait a couple of minutes to take off because actually there's somebody else that is flying in. And I don't want you guys to, have a collision. Like we don't want anything negative to happen. So I'll let you know when the path is clear. And then I'll also let everybody else know to wait because you're taking off. So it's very much like this kind of coordinated administrative like overseeing energy, and it's all about like your safety and what's like best for your soul and your really like mission here. So I feel like that's that's a lot. So if you are not like a super spiritual person, I feel like that might be a lot, right? It might be like, oh, what are you talking about? But if you're not like a super spiritual person that's open-minded, I don't know why you're watching a tarot card reading. Right? Because like this is all really like kind of abstract and like magical. But so I have tarot cards for you kind of just to look at like this connection. And I feel like it might actually be this situation versus like the connection that you have with this person or this entity. So let's see what is coming up. Okay. So I'm going to take a second to look at these. The Tower is not anybody's favorite card. It's a difficult energy. It's not it's not the most like happy ending, right? It's unexpected, it's chaotic, a little bit painful, maybe even a little bit traumatic, right? Like these people, when they were sitting in their tower just hanging out watching Netflix, whatever people in towers do, they were not expecting that a lightning strike would break off the top of the building and catch everything on fire. Like they were not prepared for this, obviously. Like if they were expecting this, they would have left, or they'd have like some kind of rope ladder or something. So what this feels like is there's something kind of chaotic that's just happened. And if you're still kind of reeling from that, I'm sorry, because I think even if we have a feeling that a tower moment is coming, like when it actually happens and we like are forced to kind of sit in that post lightning strike energy, it's not amazing, right? It's kind of difficult to sit with because not everybody can hold space for us in that post tower moment, right? Like it kind of shows us who our people are and who our people are not when some of these really unexpected things happen. So I want to say that I'm sorry that you're dealing with this because I know that it's hard. But I also want to say thank you for being here and watching this reading and trusting that there's going to be some kind of like guidance and clarity that can come out of this, because that's why I read cards. So it feels like this, like learning this secret about someone that you were very close to. I think this was somebody that was really, really important to you. It does feel like a romantic relationship, or like a really, really close, like a best friend. Like that this came out of nowhere. Like you did not see this coming, and it was almost shocking, on top of being painful, emotionally painful. This definitely feels like a little bit of betrayal. Like I'm kind of surprised the Three of Swords didn't come out. But then again, Three of Swords is a card about disappointment, and Tower is the unexpected. But the reason that God's Source Spirit kind of knocks down our tower is because it's not where we were meant to stay. That like maybe it was a situation that like, or a relationship that we got, that I don't want to say got too comfortable in, because that's not the right word. It's almost like a relationship that we settled for, that this tower that you were in, this was not for your best, highest good, and that there are better things out there for you. And also, sometimes God's Source Spirit will come in and tear down that tower, or like, cause this earthquake in the tower to get us to leave on our own, because it knows that if there wasn't a catalyst for us to make that change, we would continue to stay there. And when we stay in a place that we're not meant to be, the blessings that are for us, we can't find them. So it's almost like if you wanted to become famous, but you don't want to leave your small Midwestern town. It's like, well, like movies and music and all these like really big artistic things that people kind of find fame through don't happen in this small town. So it's like you kind of can't have it both ways. Like if you want to be famous, you have to go someplace where people can discover you and like where your talents can be showcased. Or if you want to be comfortable, you can stay here, And I think that I feel like you settled, and I think that there's a part of you that knew you were settling, but love springs eternal, in that like there's always this optimism that like, yeah, but it'll grow and blossom and things will improve. And I think you totally had the best intentions, but I feel like it was like you planted a seed, and this relationship that this life that you wanted to build with someone, it was a seed that you planted, but you didn't know that seed was never going to germinate, because like it's almost like the person that you were in the relationship with, like they sold you a story. Like they sold you a seed, but it was really like a rock, but you didn't know because it was so small, right? Like it was hard to tell what it's covered with dirt, and it's like, oh, okay, like this is like the seed for like a love tree, and like, okay, let me plant it and let me put it in the best soil and let me water it and make sure it gets sunshine and let me nurture it. And you didn't know that it wasn't a seed, right? Because you could plant a rock and it's not going to grow a mountain. And so I feel like this person, this is harsh. Like you got duped, and I'm sorry. Like I'm sorry that like to say it like that, but it's like that's what came into my mind, that like you got tricked, you got schemed, and that's really shitty. That like people are like that. But this all happened because it needed to, right? You weren't gonna leave that relationship. Like you had settled in, you had settled for them. So like, why would you go anywhere? And, your soulmate, like higher guide is like, sis, no, or, bro, like this isn't where you're meant to be. And so the energy that they're bringing in is this energy of like, you have lots of options. You have lots of choices. Like, you can really have whatever it is that you want. Like, if you do want love, if you do want change, if you want a tornado, if you want a Christmas wreath, if you want a bunch of money, if you want power, if you want, tenderness, like, it's whatever it is that you want. Like, especially I love that she has this little witch hat on, I've got the long blonde hair, that, like, a witch is just like a magician. Like, they have the power to create things, to manifest things, to bring things in. And you have this really powerful, like, soulmate spirit guide that is, kind of just reminding you, like, hey, the world is your oyster. Like, I know it sucks that this relationship didn't work out, and I know that it hurts, but, like, you don't have to just settle for, like, this kind of person in a relationship. Actually, you don't even have to settle for a relationship. Like, what kind of life do you want to have? Like, there's so many opportunities that you have, and there's so many opportunities that, like, this guide is trying to bring into you, that it's almost like, it's like, in my mind, I want to say a buffet, but it's not. Well, I mean, I guess, it's like you're at a buffet and, like, your spirit guide's handing you a plate, and then, like, you fill up one plate and he's like, I got it. Here's another plate. Like, you can have everything that you want. There's so much abundance, like, you're not going to run out. And so it's almost like they're really trying to kind of show you, like, you deserve more than this. And let me show you, like, let me open your eyes so you can see how much abundance, how many choices, how much amazingness is around you. And so, these next two cards are reversed. They're also pages, and pages are messengers. And so, I feel, Page of Cups is messages about love. Page of Wands is messages around action. And I feel like the messages are just reflecting things back, right? Like, these pages are reflecting back what is in here. And the message is that, like, this Page of Cups is saying, like, that's not love. Like, that's, yes, you loved them, and yes, they told you that they loved you, but this is not love. This is not what love is supposed to look like. So, you went through this really hard thing. You maybe found information that was painful, that, yes, it's great to know the truth, but also, like, really ouch to find out the things that people hide from us. And that this Page of Cups is saying, like, that's not love. Like, that is not love. So when you reflect back on these things that happen, just know that is not what right looks like. Like, that is not what love looks like. And this Page of Wands is reflecting to you, like, this Page of Wands is reflecting to you, like, you can take action on whatever you want. Like, whatever you want to do, you're gonna get it done. You are capable of making any of these things happen, and all of these things happen. You just pick which one you want to start with, or pick a couple. Like, this Page of Wands is just saying, like, you can grow anything that you want. Like, anything that you want that you choose from here is going to multiply. It's going to be abundant because, you've got this, like, soul guide that is, like, he's an activator, right? Like, he's just here to help you be as bright and shiny as you want to be in this lifetime, in this world, in this existence. So I feel like this is really, really very positive, even though it started out and it's the catalyst was something painful. So this next card that I have for you is Strength. So yeah, and the imagery is very similar. That, part of the reason that you had this tower moment is so that you could see exactly how strong you are. That, like, you can have these really unexpected, not great things happen, and that you can still move forward, that you can still continue to make progress, like, you can love again. And I think that about yourself. And that, I feel like a lot of understanding our own strength is based in trusting ourselves, and like I said, when these two first came out, I feel like you already kind of knew what the secret was before it was actually told to you. Like, you had this gut feeling, you had this intuition, because you are you're tapped in and tuned in, like you pick up on things and you're learning each time something happens, you're learning how strong you are and you're learning how much you can trust yourself. So next are these two Power of Love cards. So this first one is freedom. And the message is you are releasing any self-imposed restrictions or perceived limitations through the loving energy of openness. Yeah. So you're being set free from something. And so now it's like you just kind of have to release. It's almost like you have to release the bars that you imprisoned yourself with. I don't even know if that makes sense. Like that's what came through. It almost reminds me of the Eight of Swords, where the woman is blindfolded and she has swords behind her, but because she can't see, she believes that like she's encircled in swords. And it's like, you have always been in control of whether you are free or not. That like this tower didn't hold you. You just allowed yourself to believe that this tower held you, but you're much stronger, and like you've always been able to kind of break free from these negative things anytime you wanted. But like I mentioned, sometimes we get really comfortable in our tower and we forget that about ourselves. Yeah. And so the next card is cooperation. In your quest to manifest the energy of love, you realize that every person and experience has value, which I think that's like the big lesson, around relationships, right? That like we can learn so much. But I also feel like this cooperation card is an invitation from your guide, your soulmate bestie, spirit guide, that they're saying, hey, like, I'm here. Like, you just let me know what it is that you would like. Let me know how I can help you. Like, let me know what you want to manifest. Like, let me know what you want to learn, and I'm happy to bring that in and help you do it in a really gentle way. 'Cause this feels very much like that tower energy of like breaking out of something to find freedom. This cooperation energy feels much more gentle, kind of like these pages that are like, hey, we want to reflect things back to you. Instead of you having to like fight your way out of something, like we can just show you, like, you're really smart. Like we just give you the cliff notes, and like you don't have to go through the gauntlet unless you want to. And sometimes that's how we learn, like those really hard lessons. Like, what is the saying? Like, something about like hard-won lessons or hard-earned lessons stick really well, right? It's like when we go through something really difficult, we don't need to do it a couple times to learn it. But like what your guide is saying is that like, you don't have to do that at all. Like if you just want to let me know, like, hey, I want to learn healthy relationships, then it's like, okay, we'll bring like really kind people in to teach you, or like we'll just like bring you a book where you learn about it, or maybe we'll like have you happen to like see a YouTube video where they talk about the key to healthy relationships, and it's like you can just kind of integrate that information that way. Like, we are here, like I'm here to help you. You don't have to learn it the hard way unless you want to. Then I'm not gonna, like, it's about cooperation. I'm not gonna make you do it my way because I'm the spirit guide. So yeah, it's almost like maybe you're shifting, right? Maybe you're shifting away from like learning the hard way into like understanding that you can learn the easy, gentle way. And so the next two cards are these little Care Bear cards. They are like playing cards, like a little deck of cards. But I just think they're adorable. So I wanted to pull them. So this one is like a little sleepy guy. So you might need a little bit of rest after this. You might want to take some time to let yourself kind of daydream, rest and daydream about the things that you would like to have for yourself. Like maybe, what you'd like to draw in from these Seven of Cups things, or from this cooperation. And then next is this little Six of Hearts celebration card. Sorry, I kind of paused because of the numbers. 7 is the number of spiritual love in numerology. 6 is the number of human love in numerology. So it almost feels like, your spirit guide is like, hey, you did some big spiritual work, and so I think you need to get a little bit of rest and like go ahead and like dream about what it is that you want in your next relationship, in your next endeavor, in your next whatever it is that you choose. Because these are big lessons, right? Like you're really having this big up leveling, but also, you know, learning how humans love, like that, those are hard lessons too. And we just want to celebrate, like, that you went through this really big thing and that you got the lesson, that you learned what you needed to learn. And I feel like you've decided you're not going to do it again, and you don't want to go through that difficult situation again. Not that you're not going to love again, you're going to love again, but you have learned what kind of love that you want and what kind of love it is that you don't want. And so I feel like your spirit guide is really kind of celebrating that. Like, hey, this is like, yes, it hurts, and yes, we need to rest, but like, you did so good. Like, that's how this feels. Like, we're going to celebrate you. Like, you did so good. You learned this big thing. And like, we're just really proud of you. I almost feel like these two are like little guardian angels as well, you know, that like, because we don't have just like one spirit guide, we have like a spirit team. This is definitely like your spirit soulmate bestie up in the, outer realms of magical, etheric, whatever, I don't know what it's called. But that these two are like your little, they almost feel like like they're angels, but they almost feel like fairies in a way. Like they kind of feel like the little fairies in Maleficent, like the live action one. That's what they feel like to me. Like they're just kind of around, and like they think that everything you do is like adorable, and that like they're like a little, like, one of them's like a little bit anxious, like, oh God, I don't want her to get hurt again, and then the other one's like, she's gonna be great. So like I just love that you have like this little kind of spirit fairy angel guidance energy around you, because who doesn't want that? Like, it's really hard being a human being here. So if you can have little magical fairy angel spirit guides that hang out with you, I think you're winning at life. So the next two cards I have for you are the boombox, number 8 with harmony. So I think I'm going to put this here for a little celebration, and then retreat. Perfect. What are these? Like, I love when all the cards like work together so perfectly. Okay, sorry. Retreat. Time spent alone. Reflection on past and current situations. Yeah. So this little nappy Care Bear. I can't remember what his name is. Sleepy Time Bear. I don't know what their names are. I haven't seen Care Bears since I was very, very young, and I am old now. But I don't, what do we have to say anything? Come on. So yeah, group number 2, this has been your reading from, like this really kind of difficult situation into like really beautiful, positive things, rest, retreat, celebrating you, your magic fairy, spirit guides. Yeah. Yeah, this has been messages from your soulmate bestie who loves you very much. So I hope that this reading was helpful and insightful and possibly even entertaining. And if you enjoyed it, I would love it if you would like and subscribe. I'd also love to hear what you think of the cards. If there was a card that was like your favorite, or one that like really resonated for you, I'd love to hear that in the comments. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. Hello, group number 3. So if you chose the Ask Your Angels and the Rose Quartz Heart, this is your reading. So I have a lot of cards for you, as well as tarot cards. So these first 2 cards are kind of a vibe check. So one of them is your energy, and the other one is the energy of the person that has a message for you. Like I said in the intro, this could be someone that you're in relationship with. This could be an ancestor. This could be a spirit guide. This could be really anybody that loves you, that wants to give you a message. So let's see. All right. So this is your energy. Archangel Michael. I don't know why I said it like that. Sorry. Archangel Michael, trusting heaven. You are safe. Angels stand close. Surrender your concerns and allow a miracle to occur. So ask your angels. It's very much connects. So I don't know if you are aware that you have angels around you, that you have archangels protecting you. I don't know if they have made themselves aware recently. If you're seeing a lot of angel numbers, which is like triple, quadruple of the same number, could even be like on the clock, like double numbers like 12, 12, 11, 11, 10, 10, things like that, 111, 1, 2, 3, 4. So angel numbers are a way that like the angels communicate with us a lot. There could be animals, like you might be seeing animals that you don't typically see. I feel like there's a number of ways that angels can communicate with us, but your energy is very connected to the angels. Yeah. Okay. And then your loved one. I am going to butcher this. So, Dwal Cool, Dharma unfolding. Remember that you are on a path. Take one step at a time to happiness. So, I almost feel like these should be switched. I feel like this is your energy, and that the person that's coming through is an archangel, that like that you're going through some kind of big change right now, or maybe you're like having some kind of energetic up leveling. Maybe you're focused on like how to become happy, and that your angels are here saying like, hey, trust us, like we got you. So yeah, let's see what the tarot cards have. So ooh, fun. Okay. So, Temperance is one of the angel cards in tarot. So there's a lot of angel things going on right now. So, Temperance is really about the balance. So, it it almost feels like you're learning who you are. Like you're learning who you are. You're learning what makes you happy, and you're learning who you are not anymore. I think that when we go through kind of a change, not all of us handle really like drastic change. And so Temperance, it's associated a lot of times with patience, but like for me, when I think of Temperance, I think of tempering something. So like if you're familiar with like baking, a lot of times they'll temper ingredients, right? Where it's like they'll take maybe chocolate, like to make like a ganache, like a dark chocolate, and like boiling milk, and they put a little bit of the milk into the chocolate, and they stir it to melt the chocolate, and they put a little bit more milk in, and they stir it. And so the purpose is like when you're tempering chocolate, you're taking this kind of room temperature or cold chocolate, and you're tempering it with something hot to warm it up. So it's this kind of balancing of like slowly, gradually changing, because like as that chocolate gets the hot milk poured into it and mixed, the consistency changes. It changes from a brick or solid pieces of chocolate into like something that's really smooth and glossy. You can take chunks of chocolate and put it over a cake. But, the purpose of like making a ganache is that like it creates like a really smooth coating on the cake, right? So it's like the purpose is not just to put the chocolate on the cake. The purpose is to make this really smooth chocolate coating around the cake. And so it feels like that is kind of the type of change that you're going through. Like you're not, this isn't like chaotic midlife crisis energy. This isn't like I had a bad breakup and I cut all my hair off. Like this is very much like more of an exploration of the self is how this feels, and that like you're safe, that you have protection around you, because it almost feels like, especially with the imagery of this card, like the imagery looks very much like a non-binary queer person. I'm not saying that you are non-binary. I am not saying that you're queer. You might be, and if you are, me too. But if you're not, that's fine too. But like the fact that this person looks different, I feel like some of the changes that you're going through are causing people to perceive you as different than what they thought you were. And I just want to say that that's not about you. And I also want to say that there's no reason for you to worry about it. And I say that because your angels are with you. Like Archangel Michael has this sword, right? Like this, he's got, and I mean, he's a warrior. Like he's in almost like this angelic armor in a way, and so this is one of like a lot of people call on Archangel Michael for protection, for support. He has this like divine blue light that he can use to like protect people, to cut through things, to detach things. And so your 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 purpose, your role, your agenda, your mission is just to focus on your path. I mean, look at this light. Look at, I mean, these are, light rays. Come on, come on. To focus on your path to move towards what happiness is for you. And that even if your version of happiness triggers other people, this guy is watching out for you. You've got a whole host of angels that are like, not today. Nope, nobody is messing with group number 3, because this, like, your soul mission is to experience happiness, which sounds kind of bananas at this current like state of human existence, right? But what's not bananas about reincarnation, and so like that's what you came here for. You came here to figure out how to live through a variety of expressions of happiness. And I think that people see you as a happy person, but I think that they don't understand. Like, I think a lot of times, like, when we see happy people, we're like, oh, they're just lucky. They're just like happy go lucky. Like, everything is easy for them. And like, that is not the case for you. Like, because happiness is your mission, like, you intentionally seek out ways to bring happiness into your life, and it almost feels like there's a lot of intention. There's just like a lot of intention. It reminds me of like people that are vegan, right? They have to be very intentional about what they consume and what they don't consume, to live by their, standards of like nutrition, maybe their values around what they do and don't eat, but like there's a lot of intention behind it. And even though people see you as like just lucky and that's why you're happy, that is not the case. Like, you're very intentional around like doing and not doing the things that affect your happiness. Like, you're very intentional about doing the things that help you to cultivate more happiness. You're very intentional about exploring what things will make you happy, and you're very intentional about not engaging in the things that detract from your happiness. So I think that's awesome. I just think that's amazing. And I feel like if you can share that with more people, if more people were willing to listen to you talk about that, which hopefully that happens like sometime in the future. I think that we're not there this year, maybe in like 2 or 3 years. But if you can, if you have the opportunity to share that with people, I think it will be very, very powerful. Because I think that when people like you make things look easy, other people assume that it's because it's easy. And it's not. Like, I feel like most things are not easy. And it's like, if the energy feels like, don't get it twisted. Just because I make it look easy does not mean it's easy. But it also doesn't mean that you can't do it too, because like these are the steps that I take. So that might be something that's coming for you in the future. Like, in maybe it feels like 3 or 4 years, this like living intentionally for the purposes of finding happiness. Like, this might be something that you share with people. Might be a book, might be a podcast, might be coaching. I don't know, but I feel like that's something you're going to share with the world. Next, we have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Because it's a wheel, it can't be upside down, right? It's a circle. Like, any way you spin a circle, it's a circle. So I'm going to flip it over. This is the energy of, your angel that's come through, like your Archangel Michael, that we are turning some things, we're shifting some things for you, and that like whatever it is that you would like support in, just ask us. But also, like, we're kind of shifting some things for you. And so to me, what it feels like is maybe removing some people, maybe kind of moving, shifting, changing some situations. But I think that, I think for you, like, that's not a concern. Like, to me, what this feels like is you're on top, in addition to being intentional about how you cultivate happiness, like, you're very tapped in, you're very tuned in. This crown chakra up here is kind of on fire. So, and then also like eyes closed, heart open, like you're very able, willing, ready to receive whatever, your angel wants to send to you. So that's keep on doing what you're doing. Next is the Five of Wands. So um, this feels like a little bit of disagreement energy. And I don't know if you have some disagreements with your angel, like if there's some things that your angel is like wanting you to do, or your spirit guides are wanting you to do, or if like you're having a little bit of struggle on your path. um I think there might be a relationship that you have in your life that you know is not for your best highest good, and that your angels kind of keep nudging you about, like this, you they're not, it's not a great friend. Like this is someone that talks about you in a not great way when you're not around, you know. And this isn't someone that, like, this is someone that's like, there's a lot of drama, they're really petty. It's not for your best highest good. We feel like really what I'm hearing is we don't like them. We do not like them for you. It's not to say that they're a bad person. It's not to say that that you did something wrong by choosing to be friends with them or stay friends with them, but like the kind of overwhelming message is that like we don't like them. Your angels do not like whoever this is. And I don't think that's a surprise to you. Like, I think that you might even be kind of considering like this friendship, like, okay, do I really want to put up with this? Or this could be a relationship. You know, it kind of feels like, do I really want to put up with this? And so, the longer you allow this person to have kind of intimate, close access with you, like the longer you allow this person to be in your ear, the more like they're a roadblock, because they're blocking your blessings. You know, and as long as you have this person in your life, this is like a stalemate, right? You have this King of Coins energy. Like this is abundance. This is success. This is just all the positive things, you know, that you've been wanting for yourself, but it can't come towards you because this is the roadblock, right? Like this is the stalemate. This I feel like almost a perfect example of it is like if, and this could be like a business partnership, like this could be somebody that you work with, this is just someone that's like has pretty constant access to you. So it's like that could be a best friend, it could be someone you're dating, it could be a boss or a coworker that you know, like this is someone that you can't not like be in contact with because of the nature of the relationship. But it almost feels like if you guys were business partners and like you wanted to start a business, and like this person that you're in the stalemate with, like they are the only reason that like you can't launch this thing, right? And it's super petty. So it's almost like they it feels like this is like an example of like the level of disagreement or energy between you that, like, you know, you have I don't know, Kat and Dana's bakery, right? And so it's like you know, you're thinking like, well, we'll call, like, everybody refers to us as like Kat and Dana, Kat and Dana, Kat and Dana, Kat and Dana. And Dana is like, why does your name always have to be first? I'm not going to open this bakery with you until it's Dana and Kat, which is totally reasonable, except you have ordered the sign for the bakery. All the signage has already been done. The papers, the boxes, the receipts, the website, the listing on the all of it has been Kat and Dana, right? And so it's, these things like don't happen overnight, right? That like they're not instantaneous. Like this has been building for months and months, that you've kind of created this thing. And it's like, now that we're about to launch in 2 weeks, now you say that you want it to be Dana and Kat. Like you could have been saying this from the jump. And so it's like, it's not logical, right? It doesn't make any sense. Like, why don't you say something earlier? And it's not logical because it's not rooted in logic. The point of it is to derail it. The point of it is that, like, it's not about whose name is listed first. It's about making sure that this doesn't ever come into fruition because they have their own stuff and it's not yours to figure out. But as long as you're attached to them, this blessing will never come in, right? So it's like, you know, if you are not willing to go back and redo all the work and re-spend all the money and reinvest all the time that has already been put into Kat and Dana's bakery so that it can be changed to Dana and Kat's bakery, then you won't have a bakery with them. And a better question is, at this point, do you want a bakery with them? Because this King of Coins is here for you, right? And this person is the only one that's like blocking them. So maybe instead of Kat and Dana's bakery, it just becomes Kat's bakery. That if you're going to have to redo all the signage, all the everything to make this person happy, do you want to continue to work with them or do you just want to go out on your own? And so, I didn't, sorry. I didn't see this coming with the Archangel Michael, but it makes a lot of sense. And the wheel of fortune, like the turning, right? That like, we need to make some changes because this is a stalemate. This is blocking you from this thing that we have brought in for you that you are trying to connect or trying to create for yourself. So very interesting. And I think that you have a very tender heart towards this person, which makes it hard, which is kind of why things have been stuck, which is why I see why it was reversed, because there's no movement. Sometimes the Wheel of Fortune card signifies that things are changing. The reversal, now I see, is that like things are not moving, things are not changing, and they need to, but it's blocked, right? So we had both of these that were reversed, that were blocks. They were blocked. So, very interesting. So this is the kind of overall gist of the message that your loved one, your angel, has for you. So let's see what else we have. Okay, death, which which looks very ominous. It is not, and I feel like it's connected to this. Death is an ending. This connection, union, whatever this is, it needs to end. You need to go your separate ways. You need to walk away from something. You need to end something, cut something off, because until you can do that, this will not become upright. And I feel like it's really getting on his nerves because it's like, Archangel Michael is like almost the top top dog of the archangels. And, it's like and this isn't from a place of ego, right? It's like, I've set up so many things for you and you have no idea that this nonsense is blocking all of that, and I think that like the angels try to communicate it with you, but being a human is hard. And so, here you are, random pair of hands on the internet is relaying messages to you from your angels that, this, you got to walk away from this, that this isn't serving you anymore. It's actually hindering you at this point. And then we have commitment. You dedicate yourself to your beliefs wholeheartedly, knowing that love is the essence of your very being, which I feel like very much aligns with this temperance, right? This light, this heart light is even just shining down on this, like, commit to yourself. By choosing to walk away from this, by choosing to end this, you are recommitting to yourself. And then we have integrity. You demonstrate the truth and honesty of your soul and manifest love with your every action. Yes. So I think that this is not in this connection, this relationship doesn't align with your own values. And that's kind of hard, right? Because from the outside, people don't know, but integrity is about this kind of internal thing with ourselves, that like you probably haven't told anybody that this relationship is hard because it's so outside of your value system, or that you're compromising who you are to make this person happy, or they're wanting you to. Maybe you haven't done that, but that's what they're wanting. But with this integrity card, like, you know it inside you that like you're not being authentic to you, you're not being true to you, you're not being in integrity with the values that you have worked so hard to create for yourself. Okay, and then I'm gonna a couple more messages from your loved one, your angel. So, oh, okay. So we've got this little Ace of Diamonds, and then we've got this Two of Diamonds. Where does this one need to go? I feel like this will go right there. So rising above, rising up to kind of get a higher perspective on this, because I think right now you've got some, there's a little bit of sadness when you think about letting go of this connection. And then it's hard, so maybe just giving yourself some extra love, giving yourself a chance to kind of maybe take some time and space to sort of detach from being in that drama so you can kind of rise above it, to see that like when you move on, there's like so many other really happy, positive things that are waiting for you in the moving forward, moving away from this. Next is a yes. I feel like yes to change, yes to the Pentacles, yes to committing to yourself, like that, I think that this is all a yes for you. It's just kind of the formality of, ending this and communicating it and then taking the time to heal. And just having that encouragement that like all these really positive things are going to be coming once you disconnect from this. And then overcoming obstacles. Get back on your feet, gain strength from difficult situations. Yeah. Yes to that. Yeah. So I feel like that was pretty clear cut. Group number 3. This has been your reading of messages from someone that loves you, your angel family. Very, very much loves you, and they want to give you all the amazing things. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope that you know that you're supported in whatever action you need to take to untangle, walk away from, peacefully kind of resolve this relationship to bring it to a close. And if you enjoyed this reading, I would love it if you would like and subscribe. If you enjoyed any of these cards in particular, if one of them spoke to you more than the others, I would love to hear about it in the comments. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Hello, group number 4. So if you chose this abundance card and this moonstone heart, this is your reading. So I have many cards for you. So these first 2 cards are going to be kind of a vibe check. It's going to be your energy and then the energy of the person that's coming through to give you a message. So let's see what we have. Okay, so we've got El Moria. That's hard to say. Awakening presence. The universe is with you. Wear a cloak of protection and love. And then we've got Paul the Venetian, experiencing grace. Share your gifts with grace. Waves of inspiration and love are coming to you. Okay, so this very much feels like this is someone that you don't know, that you haven't met yet, but this is some kind of like really significant relationship that's coming towards you. And I think that you're growing and shifting and changing in a kind of spiritual, energetic way. And that as you continue to like grow more into like this new kind of spiritual, energetic version of yourself, you're becoming more of who you authentically are, which makes it easier for this person to find you. And so with both of these people being like the same gender, to me, it feels like this energy is very, very like matched, and also like with the aesthetic of these two, it's very oppositional, right? Very like yin and yang. This person has dark hair, dark eyes, light hair, light eyes. The background colors are opposite, dark and light. The clothing colors are opposite as well, light and dark. We've got this rose over the heart chakra, and then we've got this geometric shape over this heart chakra. So it's very much like this person, it feels more like it very much feels like life partner is what this feels like it's best friend, romantic interest, like person you want to build a life with. Like this isn't just someone that's like that you're gonna swipe right on, on Tinder and like have a little fling and it be done. Like this is a very significant relationship. And I feel like with this abundance card, it talks about love, money, and rewards, right? That like this is all encompassing. It's not just like this person's going to be a business partner that helps you earn a lot of money. This isn't just like a romantic interest that like teaches you about love. Like this is like you're going to build a future with this person. Like this is very much like life partner energy that that it's almost like the two of you are coming together to create something else. And so this could be like a love relationship where you come together and develop a business together. This could be a love relationship where you grow babies in a family. This could be a love relationship where you guys are nurturing like your dreams of traveling around the world, or maybe dreams of like having a farm, or any of those things. Like the energy between the two of you is coming together. Like the way I see it is like it's coming together like to kind of create this little pod, but like in this pod there's like a swirling of like it's like blue and red kind of swirly flame magic stuff, and that something's going to grow out of it, right? That like once you come together there's this alchemy that happens between your energies and something amazing comes out of it. In addition to the relationship, right? Like that there's going to be this amazing life partner relationship, but like the relationship is the catalyst for something else to happen, which is why I said like it could be a business, it could be a family, it could be just like living your dream of traveling, or like, I don't know, having all the baby dogs. It could be anything. And so this is very, very just like really beautiful and fulfilling. And I'm a little jealous, but I'm also very happy for you. So let's take a look at your tarot cards. Okay, so these are all reversed. So what that tells me is that they all need to be flipped over. Because I feel like when they're all reversed, like that's not, the reversal isn't significant then. Okay, so let's see. So we've got, this is your energy, this is their energy. So your energy right now, there's a little bit of conflict. So I think that, like I mentioned, like you're going through this like energetic up-leveling, this energetic changing. And I think that there might be a little bit of like internal struggle around it, right? That like it feels a little bit like discomfort or dissatisfaction. That like you're aware that you're changing, but it's hard to see, well, you can't see the end result of what the change will look like when it's done and what the change is going to bring. And that's kind of frustrating for you. Also, that's kind of how change works, right? Not to sound like insensitive, but like when we've decided to like make a, maybe a fitness change, like, or a nutritional change, like we know that the goal is, maybe to lose like 10 pounds, and we know the steps that we'll take to make the change. But it's also like, okay, well, how long is it going to take me to lose 10 pounds? Well, it's like, I don't know. When's the last time you tried to lose 10 pounds, right? Like if you're 20 and you're a dude, it might take you like 2 weeks. If you're like me, like a 40-something-year-old woman, it's going to take a long time. It's going to take a while. And so it's like we can't tune into our bodies and be like, body, how soon can you drop this 10 pounds? Because it's like, I want pizza. And you're like, oh, me too. And then that's not how you, I don't think that I'm not a nutritionist or a fitness coach or trainer, but I'm 94% sure that eating pizza is not how you lose 10 pounds, because I've been doing that and I haven't lost 10 pounds. So anyway, there's some discomfort around the change. Like, you know what you want, it's not happening fast enough. And so there's a little bit of frustration, and that's okay, because being human is hard and things are slow. This other person that is coming towards you is this King of Swords energy. They have already been through this kind of energetic up-leveling change. that you're going through. And so I think as you change more, you're going to grow closer to them. You might meet them before like you have completely completed this change, because I feel like change is such an abstract thing, right? It's not like you're wanting to lose 10 pounds and then this person's like, oh, I heard you lost 10 pounds, I'm here to be your life partner, right? Like it doesn't really work. I don't think it works that way. What do I know? But you know, you might meet this person, they might come in before you complete this change, and so they have been through it, so they have a lot of like guidance and wisdom that they're happy to share with you, but they're not going to force it on you. Like the king is very strong in like their autonomy, and they know who they are. They know what their experience is. They know what they bring to the table, but they also are not controlled by ego like the way knights are. You know, knights are like, I had all these rad adventures and it killed all the dragons, you know, and like kings have done that. They just are not at a place where they have to like show off and tell people about it, you know? So this person might enter into your life as like a mentor of some kind, you know. It doesn't, I mean, it could be like a mentor like that is in the same career as you. I mean, it could even be a boss. I don't feel like, if this is your boss, I don't feel like you will have this union when you are working together, right? So even if like, let's say this is your boss, right? And you know, like you have this amazing chemistry and they have all this like wisdom to impart on you, like this union won't happen until like, I feel like they are going to leave the situation. Like if they are your mentor, they are going to leave the role or the situation that they are holding that makes them your mentor, if that makes sense. And I don't think that that's going to apply to everybody, you know, because we can have like friendships where we have friends that mentor us and there's not like this imbalance of things. But I think maybe for some of you, like this person might come into your life as kind of an authority figure, but you won't have that union while they are in authority over you, because that's an imbalance that they don't want. Like this person is looking for partnership. Like they don't want there to be an imbalance, right? Like they want it to be a level playing field where both of you can decide that you want to create this union together. Which I feel like is really, it's a really like lovely energy that this person is really grounded in who they are. A lot of very like heart-centered decision making, even though they don't look like it. Like people that don't know them don't know how tender they are. And people that don't know you don't know how structured you can be. So it's really good energy. So your combined energy between the two of you is the Fool. So like you guys are coming together to create something new, to birth something new, to start a new journey. Like the Fool is about all the new things. The Fool is not foolish though. The Fool is the card that travels through the major arcana. So if you took all of the first 21 cards of the tarot, like the ones that are not like wands, cups, pentacles, swords, those are the major arcana. So there's 21 of them, with the Fool makes 22. And if you line them all up in number, that is the journey that the Fool is taking. So the Fool is like the soul, right? And that like it's had many iterations of lessons. It's had many go rounds here. So that's why I say that the Fool is not foolish. Like the Fool has been here before. The Fool has this wisdom with optimism. You know, that the Fool can walk forward without keeping this hard-nosed focus on the ground, because the Fool trusts that like the ground's not going to fall out from beneath them. And the Fool also trusts that, you know, the universe has its back. That like anything that might be not great, it's going, you know, the Fool's going to get a heads up before it, you know, walks into a bad situation, because they're tuned in and tapped in. The energy, or sorry, the way ahead for both of you is the Hermit. And this is a really cute little cat in a box. The Hermit is very kind of solitary, but I don't feel like that is I feel like your combined energy is that like the two of you make this little life for yourselves, and it's insular in the best way, right? That like you guys have a really strong union, and you also have like you make your own little world together, like this little cat in a box. Like it's surrounded by these little hearts, and like it's in its little box doing its little thing. And I feel like that is the union that you guys have. Like you have your own little schedule, and your own little jokes, and your own little traditions, and like culture, in a way. Like you guys, it's like the two of you come together to create a whole new little world for yourselves. And like it's something that like not everybody has in relationship, not everybody has in partnership. And so I think people become very curious about it. But the kind of magical thing I think about the hermit is that like in the traditional tarot, it's this kind of really old wise guy. And he's got a cloak on, and the cloak that he wears is the cloak of invisibility. And so he puts this cloak on that completely covers him, so that like people don't see him, because he's on a journey. He's walking through the dark. He's got a lantern, so he just goes step by step, very deliberate. He's not in a hurry to get to any place. He's kind of just wandering. He's kind of just learning and experiencing, and thinking and seeking. But he's very kind of insulated in this like cloak of invisibility. He's got like this staff of knowledge that he carries on this journey of just life. Like he has a purpose. Like he's walking towards the light. He's always trying to find this like higher light, but it's a very kind of like esoteric journey, right? It's not like take a left on Fifth Avenue and the big lights there. Like it's not like that. It's kind of like this internal exploration, and kind of moving about the world and having things reflected back. And so that, that can be very solitary, because not everybody wants to do that. And not everybody wants to do that at the same time. And I share all that because I feel like the two of you, when you come together, like the life that you make is very much like the hermit's journey, right? That you guys are just kind of living in the present moment, always moving towards the higher light, always moving towards like positivity and abundance and like growth. And that like people on the outside might not like notice you. Like you guys you're not the couple on social media. Like you're not social media influencers. You're not going to like share everything on social media. Like, you have people and family and community that you interact with, but like you don't really care about the people that don't know you. Right. So you're just kind of like pre-social media normal humans, where it's like, you don't have to share everything, and that like you don't need validation for the way that you're living. So I feel like it's just like a really beautiful connection, beautiful kind of union. So let's look at some more of these cards. Let's see. Okay, rejection. Interesting. I want to know what this is about. Because I'm feeling like these two, right? They're the same energy. And so I wonder if there's, as you're kind of going through this change and contemplating things, that if there's a lot of things that are coming up for you that it's like, nope, I don't want that anymore. Nope, I'm getting rid of that. Like, nope. That as you're changing and growing, there's things that are getting cut out of your life. Yeah. That's it. As you're growing and changing. I didn't even realize this when I said it 15 minutes ago. Wear a cloak of protection and love. What did I say about the hermit? Cloak of invisibility. Y'all. Okay. Yes, but as you're growing and changing, you're going to be cutting things out. And these are things that are not for your highest, best good. Yeah. Next, we have creativity. You love to devise new ideas, innovations, and forms of illumination. Love that. And then past. Through the power of love, you release any stagnant situations or energy in order to transform your heart space. Yes. So this is a lot of like your growing, healing stuff. which is beautiful. Okay. Let's see. Next, I got these little cute Care Bear cards. So let's see. Oh, look at this. And having some cloudy days and like looking out for better things to come. Oh, needing some rest. You know, yep. As we grow and change, we always need lots of rest. Oh, Sparkle. How cute is this? Okay. Yeah. Change is hard. Change and growth are hard, you know? So it's okay to have a bad day. Like, just keep your, kind of keep focused on the future, like what's coming. It looks like you need a little bit of rest, So I think if you're having any kind of hard moments around like growth and change, you're being encouraged to just take a little bit of a rest. It's okay to have a hard time, but like these really positive things are coming, right? So it's like if you can look to the next step is focused on getting a little rest. If you can look to the future, there's sparkle cookies that your divine counterpart wants to make for you. This little creativity. So it's, just getting some rest and knowing that really beautiful, positive things are coming for you, even if it's hard right now. Okay, and next we've got the fairy with magic and makeup with imagination. Okay, so all this like kind of creativity and magic, and I feel like this, like when you come into union with this person, it's going to be like really fun. It's going to be really fun and creative and sweet, and like just, you guys are just going to have a good time. I feel like you guys both might be kind of artistic people. You might really enjoy creating things or like just kind of making, there's a lot of enjoyment here. And I say that because like, magic doesn't have like a hard tangible purpose. Like makeup doesn't have a hard tangible purpose. Like creativity and like innovation and new ideas, like they don't have like this really kind of strict structured purpose. Making cookies, like that's, it's not like these, you're moving out of this like really rigid kind of hard energy into this much more gentle energy that this person is really going to help you to cultivate. And I feel like we can even see like the colors, right? Like that there's a little bit of kind of darker heaviness into this like lightness. So I feel like this, this union, like this, your counterpart is telling you that like, I know you're having a hard time right now. And I know that things are difficult, and I hope that you're resting and taking care of yourself. And when we find each other, it's just, there's going to be a lot of fun and magic, and you guys might have a cat, and like just really just sweetness, right? Just a lot of sweetness. And so this last card is, obsession. Focusing too much on one situation, the need to take a step back. Okay. So, yeah. I feel like I don't know if you're in a relationship right now, or if you're kind of stuck on a past relationship, but definitely being called to kind of look to the future with positivity and like just take a rest, take a break, let yourself do some healing. I don't know if you feel this way. You're not going to be alone forever. It's not going to take forever for them to find you. I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow, but just kind of understanding that like the more you are able to let go of the past and kind of do some healing and allow yourself to let go of the things that like are not for you, that are not for you, the more like this abundance of like love and positivity is going to come in to help you change, to help you move towards this really beautiful stuff. Yeah. So group number 4, that has been your reading. I hope it was really helpful and that it brought you like clarity and support. And if you enjoyed it, I would love it if you would like and subscribe. If there is any card that really kind of resonated for you, I would love to know what that is. Or if you just enjoyed these little Care Bear cards that I think are so cute, I'd love to hear about that too. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.